Welcome to the typical skeptic podcast, where we dive deep, you decide. Questioning the matrix, from UFOs, where the shadows unknown reside. Rob Khalil busting myths like ghosts in the night. Paranormal pros, secret space ops, yo, we keep it real, no fright. Typical skeptical, seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Aliens, Anunnaki, black ops in disguise. From abductions to ancient scripts, we flip the script wide. TSP style, mile after mile, truth can't hide. Hold up, TSP crew assemble, we dismantle the fable. My lab's targeted souls, breaking out of the stable. Dogman howling, Bigfoot prowling, cryptids in the mist. Mandela the fifth twist in reality, can't resist the twist. Soul trap snapping, reincarnation mapping, holographic dreams. Near-death visions, out-of-body missions, waking up the teams. No censorship here, we fear no elite scheme. Conspiracy kings ringing bells, hear the freedom ring. The skeptical seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Extraterrestrials, interdimensional highs. Welcome to the typical skeptic podcast, where we dive deep, you decide.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. We got an amazing show planned for you guys. I'm just waiting for Pink Bella to join us. So she said she would be about 5 minutes. So that's kind of why I figured I would just run the intro and I'm copying her bio now so I can read it. Maybe I should just read her bio now to kind of kill some time. So but we have an amazing show for you guys today. We're going to be doing obviously Galactic Akashic records. We're going to be getting into Stargates, clones, all the Stargate, what seems to be going on around the planet, like the Stargate war, or, if that's what's, we're going to be getting into moon bases. So this should be a really absolutely good show. So that's so important, leave a comment on the video if you like the content. Remember to like it, share it. It helps go a long way when, shows like mine are shadow banned and, it's hard to get any traction. You know what I mean? So definitely do that. And a little bit more about my guest today. Where is the, I forgot to copy the bio. Okay, here, 1 second. Let me see. Hey, everybody, everybody in the chat. I'm glad you guys are here. And like I said, Pink Bella should be here. Let me check my messages. Let me see what she says. Just message her now. Okay, I messaged her. Okay, as people are funneling in. So yeah, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and comment, and all that stuff. Leave a nice comment, or a bad comment. I can take it. It's okay, Okay, here's Pink Bella, and then I'll do an intro too. So, guys, today, hey, good to see you. How are you?
Aloha, good to see you. Thanks for waiting.
Oh, it's okay. I just started like literally like a minute ago. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I wanted to
cool.
play the intro. So, so guys, today on the Typical Skeptic podcast number 2502, I can't believe that. I welcome back
Wow.
fan favorite Pink Bell Aloha for Galactic Akashic reader and multidimensional healer known for her deep dives into Starseed Origins, galactic history, and the energetic grid mark surrounding Earth. In this episode, we explore some of the most mysterious cosmic questions circulating right now. Pink Bell will tap into the Galactic Akashic records to examine possible galactic battles over Earth stargates, including places like Iran, Mexico, Venezuela, Maui, and why these sites may represent a broader struggle for planetary control. We'll also discuss controversial topic of clone technology, including theories that certain dark extraterrestrial factions may have experimented with creating a cloned human race. How long could this technology have existed, and how does it play in hidden programs? And another fascinating topic we'll explore is the possibility of a moon space station. Are there civilizations, off-world beings off moon? I mean, if you go back to some of the old, whistleblowers, they definitely said that there were people on the moon already. And a little bit more about my guest, Pink Bella specializes in deep explorations of galactic Akashic records, offering insight into soul missions, starseed origins, ancestral contacts, and multidimensional healing. She works as a quantum multidimensional healer, Akashic records practitioner, Reiki master, and ascension guide, helping individuals clear karmic patterns and reconnect with their higher self and galactic lineage. Her work includes transmissions related to the galactic councils of light, dragon activations, divine goddess codes, and preparation for humanity's transition into a higher consciousness Earth. And with all that said, and you can find her at alohapinkbella.weebly.com and on her YouTube at Aloha Pink Bella 888. And I put all those links in the description. And with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. Pink Bella, thank you so much for coming back on. How are you?
I'm super grateful to be here. I'm doing good. I have Mercury retrograde brain. But other than that, I'm good. How are you doing? Hi, everyone.
It's been honestly, I said this last night when I had, I can't remember if I think I had Rock Castaldo on. Like he left the podcast because like we were done, and then I was just talking to the audience, and I was like, this has been like one of the like hardest Mercury retrogrades of my podcast career. Like like all kinds of challenges has come up, like guests have canceled, like arguments with people. I mean, like it just doesn't make sense because I'm not the type of person. I like to be like easygoing and like not arguments, but like like little things have come up, and then just weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
is.
been detoxing everyone's ego, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Tried to prepare everyone because I never really know how it's going to go. But I have both a sun and a rising sign connected to Mercury. So when Mercury retrograde goes retrograde, like it just kicks my butt. And I was already over it into day 2. Like it was probably like 2 days after you and I last saw each other. So it's been a tough one. And I'm noticing a pattern that's been brought over from last year where those of us that are conscious, awake, and doing our work, it's really pushing us into our mastery and next level. Like it does give us an opportunity to, like, you can probably already see patterns maybe from this Mercury retrograde with maybe different players, but connected to the one before that in December and connected to the one before that. So it's like Mercury comes in and gives us okay, we're giving you another scenario. Are you going to react the same way? I'll tell you from my perspective too, like if any of you have been experiencing interference, energy attacks, whatever you want to word it, those got ramped up, and it wasn't because we were doing anything wrong. It's that Mercury was this is my team's been talking to me. Mercury was giving us more intel about where we have kind of leaks in our system, either personal boundaries. For me personally, I got hit like right after. Okay, so we had that lunar eclipse, which was intense. The lunar eclipse closing the eclipse season was super intense. And then a couple days later, Mercury went, or was it the other way around? No, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Mercury went retrograde. Then your country announced about Iran, and that sent a shockwave through the grids to everybody, but especially your country. Like, even though a lot of people have been talking about it and that it was potential, a big shockwave went through, and I saw everything kind of collapse on the 27th, 28th, just before we ended the month. By the way, isn't February odd? Don't we
Yeah.
all wonder about February? Like that it just ends on the 28th and the 29th and nobody questions it at all. And then we go back to 30, 31 days. Like I've never understood that whatsoever. So I think it's just like it messes with our heads. And then we had the 3/3 portal and we had the lunar eclipse the same day, which I was pretty peaceful through it, but then everything started to sort of show itself like within 24 hours of that. So around the 4th of March. And Mercury's been showing us, and for me personally, suddenly I was having a lot of really intense energy in my apartment that I had been working diligently at cleaning up for months. And it's like suddenly I felt like something had come in and stuck a clamp on my head. And so I had to kind of go through another clearing in my apartment and seal it up to the next level. And then my team was sharing with me, it's not, it looks like we're being picked on, it looks like we're being attacked, but in actual fact Mercury's just sort of like mirroring it back to us. You need to ramp everything up to the next level. And they also talked to me about engaging in, which we do all the time, and it's not, and it's such a human thing to do if we're going through something tough, then to go over and talk to someone else about it. But if it continues, that continues in a loop, they consider that gossip. And then that gossip opens up a portal for the other team. It's another loosh portal. Like, right? So they came at us from multiple ways, including when that shockwave came through because of the Iran, right? There's a big split. It woke a lot of people up, but a big split in like, how could our country do this? When in actual fact, that's what we're going to look at today, because I know you've had a lot of guests on talking about this as well, but that's just what we're being told in 3D media. And there's way more stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you like my feeling. Well, wait, first I got to ask you, how do you like the new microphone? You think it's good?
Yeah, I do. And I was going, wow, you're wearing a red shirt and you've got a red background. That's so cool.
That's actually infrared. It's because I got this like healing thing, and I took the red light and I just put it up here. So that's
good.
You know,
I thought it was infrared. That's huge right now. I'm using it too. It's huge.
Yeah. So I figured like if people look at it, then people can get the healing from the infrared as well. You know what I mean?
So, I love that. What is it? Is it just a light, or do you have like a mask?
Yeah,
or what is
the light laying on the like. It's actually like what I did was I used my credit card, which I shouldn't have done. I bought one of these like home spas like off of Amazon, you know, and like it's I'm having a lot of trouble putting it together. It's like 1,000 pieces, but when I do put it together, it will be amazing. It was like a little bit over $200, and I put it on my credit card, and I'm like, you know, because I want to get back in shape and I want to get healthy. So I was like, you know, but I took
reasonable.
the red light from it. I took the red light from it and brought it up here. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like, so like,
is it like, did you get like a mat? Sorry guys, we're kind of sidetracking because I've been this has like been coming to me how important infrared is right now, and for people to be able to have this at home. So did you get like a mat, or what do you have to put together? What do you put together?
It's a big thing that you like go in. It's like a,
wow.
It's like you put it's like,
is it like a sauna? Is it infrared?
Yeah, it's like a sauna, and it has like 2 steam pots. Like, you know, it comes with, it's pretty cool, you know, and like, and then you put the I'll take this red light, I'll put that in there, and then
that was a good deal.
Yeah, it was. But, you know, like it's not like I can really afford it right now, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, like sometimes you have to do stuff for yourself.
You know what?
I mean?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Like a couple of years ago, I was at the same point, and we had a snowstorm. That was probably the last time we had a big snowstorm, and I could literally, it was the day I was supposed to go to my acupuncturist, and he's in the city, so I couldn't get there. So what I did was I took the money that I was going to spend to go see him, including lunch out and travel and snacks and all that kind of stuff. And I just went and ordered a really awesome crystal mat, like a grounding mat, but it's also heated. You know what? I've never regretted it. It was money well spent because I use it all the time. I use it every single day. Yeah. So you're going to love it. And we have to invest in ourselves. There's just times when our health just requires it. So I think that's great. And we wouldn't even be talking about it if you hadn't got it.
Yeah, I know. But like as far as this war goes, I've kind of I haven't been consistent with what I've been reporting. You know, I've had so many different people on with different opinions, but like my stance on it is I'm absolutely against it. But I do like, you know, like I've been talking to like Indigo Angel, and she thinks that like it's absolutely necessary. She, you know, she believes that like Trump is saying that like we had to do this because Iran, You know, like Iran has a nuclear, they don't want Iran getting nuclear missiles. You know what I mean? But then like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to ramp up to the point where we're sending ground troops in there.
Of
I
course
don't want,
not. Of course
you know,
not. No. And you
or
know what? Nobody does like that. And I just also want, like, I reiterate this every show. We do not, I'm from in Canada. We do not blame any of you for anything that any administration decides.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
think a bit another big piece of this is that it's showing everyone like, oh, we didn't agree to that. That's not what we want. But the other thing is, what I want to look at is it really happening the way it's being reported? Or is it actually just like little bits and pieces in the media and other things are going on behind the scenes? Because I was reminded that that was the same thing with the Ukraine scenario. A lot of it was false media coverage. A lot of it was not happening the way we were told that it was happening. So that's what I
yeah,
wanted to look at today. I want to look at, like, is there actually, like, are your troops in there bombing, or is that just a cover? Because I also had another client. There was a couple of nights, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week. There's been so many planets going direct, so I'm not exactly sure what the alignment was, because we just had Jupiter go direct yesterday, which was huge. That's been impacting all of our abundance and joy since October. So it just went direct, which is awesome. So I can't remember, but I was getting messages, including myself. We all had sort of prophetic dreams like Thursday night or Friday, if you remember your dreams. And I had a client message me, and I felt like that was absolute intel she was supposed to see, to share with me. And what she saw was interdimensional beings that were fighting in Iran, coming in and out of the Stargate.
wow.
So that's, and I'm getting god bumps. So the thing is that is one of the key points on the planet that's still being battled. That's why I want to look at the Stargates today, because I feel like that's the pattern this year since January. Venezuela, Mexico, Iran, like this is where the hot spots of the actual galactic spiritual battle that we are in are manifesting on the planet. So I want to look at it from that perspective. Plus I want to look at Maui, because I feel like that was the beginning when we started to notice things.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
And I can't even remember what year that was. I know it was Lionsgate. I was like, is it 2022, 2023? But I feel like that was the beginning for us to take notice of things are happening beyond our control that are coming off, that are from off planet.
Yeah,
For sure.
that would make sense. That would make sense, you know.
Yeah, but the whole, I mean, I came in as a child, never understanding war whatsoever, like despising it from the beginning. Like, why can't we all just be kumbaya and be at peace and get along, right? Like, why can't we be like that? And I grew up at the time when they showed everything on TV, and they showed like the Vietnam War happening while we were having dinner.
Yeah.
Right. So there was no, I mean, that was the day when reporters were actually there on the ground. And we could even look at that could actually potentially also have been a galactic battle.
You know what's crazy is, like, I mean, if you go on X now, X is like it's insane, because like the stuff that they're showing on X, I'm seeing like U.S. bases and like the GCC countries, like the Gulf, what do they call that, like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar,
Yes.
all those places that are like allies of us. It's showing Iran bombing. It's showing insane stuff. It's showing Israel getting bombed. It's showing Iran getting bombed. I'm like, how good is this for the collective? You know what I mean? It's like, it's keeping people in like a perpetual state of fear, because everybody feels on edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's probably
and
hard.
I would say really, everyone, just do it in little bits and then take a break, because what it does is it triggers your nervous system. That's what they're looshing off of. So the dark ETs are still looshing off of us, and that's what they want. It's also waking up a lot of people as well. And that's why I wanted to look at it, because I'm thinking, well, we don't, this is how crazy the AI stuff is now. We're not going to be able to discern what people are creating and what's actually happening.
Yeah.
I can see it already. I've been reposting stuff on Instagram, and they put like those silicone masks on robots, and you can't tell that they're not real. They're showing, they have an avatar, and then they just keep changing the person's face. It could be like 5 different people in 2 seconds. And it's like, yeah, the message I was getting this week when I did my podcast was, we have to get really good at discerning what we're intaking and watching. Is it raising our vibration, or is it pushing us down into fear and trauma? because then we have to pull ourselves back up. That's the first thing. The second thing is, everyone, we have to start really discerning what's organic and what's inorganic.
Yeah.
That's including all the AI videos, because honestly, it's like it's skyrocketed this year. We can't even keep on top of it. You know,
Absolutely.
we're not ever going to know now if anybody posts a video, if it's reality or an AI creation. We're already at that point, unfortunately.
It's scary. It really is.
It is scary. Yeah.
Where are we headed with that? You know what I mean?
It just makes me want to go back to a flip phone. I was looking at flip phones last night and 1989.
That's funny.
And I also saw some other fellows recently. They're like 90s guys, and they have this deal when they go out, and they're older, like, I don't know, 40s, 50s, whatever. When they go out with their friends, what they do is they all leave their phones at home now.
Wow.
Just because they're calling it the 90s group. They're just like, let's go out. Let's go hang out for a couple of hours. Let's leave our phone at home. Like, there's not, none of us are the president. It doesn't matter. Let's just chill out for a couple of hours without actually looking at our phone. And I've seen that with the younger group now as well. The ones coming up, they don't want all the apps. They don't want to be on their phone 24/7. They're already getting.
And I've said this before. The younger crowd is not buying into this war at all. Like, they don't want nothing to do with it.
No, I know. So that's why I want to look at it, because I'm thinking, is it really happening, or is it just a cover for what's actually going on?
Yeah.
Right. And it's interesting, because I know that, how they always choose different platforms to bring out the information. Now, it's interesting about X was a platform that many countries were trying to ban the last couple of months, including Canada.
Wow.
To try, and I'm just like, I'm listening to that noise going, how can you ban X? Like, I'll just get a VPN, get X if I want. Like, don't mess with my internet stuff. Seriously, like, it's 2026. So they didn't.
X is it's like one of the most free speech platforms we have. You can literally post anything on there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So then again, we can't really discern if people are creating these videos about the bombings and stuff like that. I just want to bring that to the table, because it's absolutely, we're not sure. Yeah.
And another thing, like, that I brought up, and me and Indy have talked about this, like, it's like, there's a real rise in, like, anti-Semitism too. And, like, what I always say is, like, there's a lot of people that are just Jewish and they're existing in the world. They're not, doing bad things to people. Maybe their government is, but, like, there's a lot of people that are just like you and I. And when they see that stuff that people are posting, that probably has to hurt them. You know what I mean? Like, because they're not doing those things, So I don't think we can blame a whole race of people for decisions their government makes,
Yes, exactly. And then the other thought about it is that every soul has come in to a certain kind, like, incarnated into a certain country, into a certain race, to go through all these experiences right now. Like, that's a really good detachment to remind everyone. And we're this has been a game they've been playing with us forever. Like, let's pit everyone against each other, like race, men against women, different countries against each other. Like, that's been the whole game. So guess what? That's the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Right. That's the big boys. And they're still, they haven't completely given up. I wanted to look at a couple of timelines today. I keep hearing either next year or 2028 that they'll all be, like, removed from the planet. They have some kind of agreements that they're working through.
Yeah.
They've all been asked to leave multiple times, and they're not leaving. They don't want to leave. So yeah, but that's why I want to look at the Stargates, because I feel that that's the pattern this year so far. It's only March 11th. That we've had multiple areas where suddenly there's been these breakouts, and your country, seems to be like, you guys are the leader of the wolf pack. Like, that's just the way it is. So don't take any of it personally, but it's just like, Mr. T was brought in. The whole process right now was to bring everything in, to shake everything up, because otherwise it would just perpetually continue the way it was. Like, nothing, nobody would be looking at anything. So, but the big question is, what is real? What's real right now? Except we're all real, hopefully.
Yeah. But
right?
it's crazy. There's been I don't know if these are false flags too, but there's been like they had to subdue a passenger on a flight because he was screaming "Death to America." And they,
Yeah,
possible suicide bomber. Then I don't know
yeah.
if you saw. I actually
There's
posted this. There was a guy in Houston, some maniac. He had a property of a lost shirt on, and he killed 3 people and wounded another 14. He shot them at a
yeah.
bar. So it's
So
like
they could be
there's
so they could be sleeper cells, right? They could be MK Ultra that's getting triggered by all of this. There was also somebody in
exactly
Toronto. There's all
because
so yeah, go ahead.
they want to keep people in fear. Remember, you know what I mean? So it's
Yes.
like,
And I think this is actually a good time to suggest that if any of you are thinking about going to large events, like really think about that right now, because that's usually where what's targeted. They usually target like crowds as well as cities. I mean, yeah, and this is like the spiritual war that we've been in for years is like coming to our front door now. It's heated up. So
yeah,
we can kind of see it, right? So I think like it started with Venezuela. Mexico was just recently as well. The story was about the cartel, but who knows? Like suddenly there was like bombing and burning on the street, and tourists were being carted out of there from all over the
wow.
world. So yeah, yeah, maybe you didn't hear about that.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Well, holy shit!
So
It's
the
getting crazy.
cartel apparently the cartel, the head of the cartel, they took him out. So I was actually trying to find out why they would do that, because they knew that there was going to be this backlash, right? And there's all these tourists there from all over the world. A lot of Americans, a lot of Canadians go to Mexico. So I'm going to say this is about 3 weeks ago. So literally all the tourists were either like hovering in the airports and no planes were leaving, or they were hiding in their hotel. And a lot of Americans and Canadians actually have condos down there. Like they go down there for 6 months, whatever. Everybody was hovering inside and told not to leave. So there's actually travel warnings. I believe it's still in place. But I remember like they showed photos of outside of Costco, all the cars were burned. Like
Wow.
that's what they did. So it went from like escalating to ground zero dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not normal, right? Because when somebody's going through an operation like that, they absolutely know that there's innocent people around, just like with Iran, just like everything else. So I want to look at like if any of this is true, or if that's just the story that they're feeding us through the media.
Yeah. One
And
more thing I wanted to go over with you was this
yeah,
sickness that seems to be going on too. Like, I don't know I saw my post, but like I had to even make a post saying that I was going to step back from doing so many shows because I got so sick. I was sick for like a week and a half. Like it was like a bad flu or cold. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, it was really, I mean, it was intense. And then I found out that people all across the country, like the United States, were getting sick and they were having the same thing. So it's like, how does this stuff get I mean, I know we have flu season, right? Like we've had that forever,
yeah,
right? But like, I wondered why that happens. Like, why is it that like around this time of year, everybody seems to get sick? Is it something in the air, or are they actually like releasing something? I've thought about this more. Are they actually releasing something into the populace that gets people sick?
yeah.
Because then you have people when they're sick, they're in a more weakened state, really to like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did see your post and I wish you well, but I wasn't too sure how you were doing, like what was going on. I kind of felt like that middle of February, I was taken out for a week. So, and the other thing that I recall is I do feel like either stuff gets released airborne to move a lot of people like inside, right? A lot of people inside. And then the other thing is if a lot of people are out getting this for the
Yeah.
flu season, then they are excreting that energy and those toxins as well.
Oh God, I never thought about that. Yeah,
So
that's
I
a good point.
remember when we were all in lockdown period, 2021, 22, I literally, if I was with a lot of people that I know had just gotten something, I was super sensitive to their energy frequency and what they were excreting. I found it like it's invisible, but we know what's going on. And I'm getting a
Yeah.
headache just talking about it. So that's part of it, right? So we can be out doing groceries and we don't know what did they release something in the store. We were around a whole bunch of people that just managed to get something. They're still advertising all of it. Like if I listen to local radio, they're always advertising it, and I listen to US stations too, so it's everywhere. So that part of the movie is still on. And what I was given yesterday was, so in the 3D world, which is where we're watching all of this unfold, and that's where the news is, it's the slowest part. So it's still trying to catch up with whatever has happened in the higher dimensions. So in the higher dimensions, the galactic battle has been intense. Now, my understanding is, we can look at that today too. My understanding is like 6th, 5th, and 4th dimension have been returned to us, but the battle is still continuing on in 3D.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad that you're feeling better. So when we're not feeling well, that is the first priority, is to take care of ourselves. So you did the absolute right thing, right? You have to step back, you have to rest. And just, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to share this comment real quick for this, and then we'll get into everything, guys. Like, this is from Susan NB. She says, we're getting hit by directed energy weapons or frequencies that's making us sick, in my opinion. 2-foot snowstorms where I live. When I went outside to deal with the snow, I came in feeling bad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the snow has been crazy. Like, that's been another imbalance. So guess what, everyone? By the way, we finally had our first snow where I am yesterday. It didn't stick, but it just felt normal. Like, it felt like it was a reset, because we haven't had any snow for like 2 years in my area, which is just insane. I grew up with the amount of snow that you've been getting in your area all winter, Rob. That's what I grew up with. So to not have anything, and to have everybody like want to wear flip-flops in February, no, go to Hawaii for that. Like, that's not normal. That's not normal. But the rest of Canada and the rest of the US have just been blasted. Like, it's been over the top snow. Crazy snow, right? So so that has to make us look at, like, there's still this big energy behind the manipulation. I know some people think that it's just theater, but not for those of you who are living in the area where you're being bombarded by the snow. And I agree, there are some areas where the snow is not a healthy snow, for sure.
Yeah.
Why don't I just even pull some cards right there about if there's off-planet energy devices, because that's how Maui was started, if they're sort of directing everyone to not feel well right now.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's start with that. So we have Page of Wands. The records are open, by the way, everyone. I opened them before we started. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which is destiny. This card also wanted to come out, which is King of Swords. That's interesting, because that card kept coming forward yesterday. And we have the 8 of Swords at the bottom. So this is, the whole purpose of the whatever is whipping through everyone not feeling well right now is to keep everybody like basically tied up and to stay at home. Which, if you all have been in a really bad winter, you're probably getting cabin fever staying in your house, right? Like, it starts to get, it's nice to begin with, like over Christmas, and then it's like, okay, by March we're kind of over it. All right, so Page of Wands. So yes, this is a soft yes. So yes, potentially in some areas that is what is perpetuated. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So it is going to be changing. That will be dissolved in the near future, but I'm still getting a headache about it. So that's one of my superpowers. So it's still in progress. All right. So the best thing to do is take care. If you're not feeling well, take care of yourself. Stop whatever you're doing. Notice what you're doing. Take care of yourselves. Take your, immune boosters. Take care of your health. For entertainment purposes only, and just rest up. So I know, like, in February, I had a sore throat and I had it off and on for like a week. It didn't matter what I took. So I just took my little elderberry and I slept. And by the Friday, I was better.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's just, and we also have to remind ourselves, like, our immune system is quite strong, but it needs, the old fashioned way, how we grew up. When you go through something, it actually makes you stronger. It actually it helps your body create antibodies. So we have King of Swords, which I feel like that's connected to this is us. This is like, it's all making us stronger, and it's making us question everything too. So I know Mercury retrograde in particular brings up a lot of patterns. It brings up health patterns. So it makes, if we're not feeling well, it forces us to look at, like, what can I do differently to take care of myself? Which is kind of a forced vacation. It's a forced vacation. There's also, like, electronic things. My toaster oven bit the dust last night. And I thought, I almost made it through without anything happening electronically. So if it's my toaster oven, well, there you go. And I've had that girl for 6 years, so she's served me well. And then, I've noticed that other people have had appliances like fridges and everything go out, car problems. So that's normal technical problems. So there usually is some kind of glitchy thing that has happened, but it's making us all stronger. So by the time Mercury's going to go direct the same day as the equinox, March 20th. So we don't have much longer, everyone. We have like 9 more days.
Yeah, she said, I'm going to read this comment earlier. It was from Chaley. Chaley says in the audience that we're going into like a big Aries energy on the 20th too.
We are. Yeah. And Aries is like fire, fast, like ready, set, go. So you know how we started with the year of the horse and the fire horse? Well, then we went into Mercury retrograde. So it's like the horse is ready to gallop and get out of the gate. And then it's like, oh, sorry, we have Mercury retrograde happening for 3 weeks. So we're just going to like keep the horse in the gate for a little while. So we've been learning a lot. And yeah, it's going to be like ready, set, go. So everything that's been paused for us, anything that's been bothering us, it's going to be better communication. And Aries is about fire energy. And I feel like there's, we can look at that, but I feel like we've been receiving, I knew this was going to happen through Mercury retrograde, a lot of intel about the galactic battles, aka the troubles on planet Earth. I knew there was going to be a lot of intel that was going to be hitting everybody, right? So we have the E-files, we have the UFO files, we have people looking at clones now and doubles, and is that person alive? And, you know, what were they doing with the clone race? Like all of that. That's why I want to look at all this stuff today, because it's so important, because even the regular folks are watching all these videos and they're like, what is going on? Like, this is not fun at all. And then now we're going to get like sort of our ducks in a row. And I'm looking forward to it because I can't wait to think properly.
I know, right?
Even trying to get on here today, I'm like, how do I get on? Like, it was just like my brain couldn't even remember how to click the button this morning. So
yeah. I mean, I've been having like a lot of tech issues too. Like last night I did a show with Rock Castaldo and it was just all over the place. Like, and not him or me, it was the internet. The internet was really bad.
Yes,
and it just
I had that with a call. I had that with a call yesterday. We kept freezing. Yeah. So
it seems like certain times you go on and it seems like the internet traffic's more heavy. And I think no matter what kind of internet speed you have, I think that'll affect it or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Well,
you know?
and we don't know what they're doing in the background.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So they're always like, personally, I feel that because I worked in tech for years, right? I feel that the tech companies absolutely know about Mercury retrograde. And they just choose that time 3 times a year to upgrade a bunch of things and change about 10 things. And they don't care. They don't care how glitchy it is. And wasn't there something recently that, oh yeah. So it was a week ago. I think a lot of planes suddenly got grounded in different areas, but I don't think they talked about it globally. So I found out it was going on in Canada because my cousin in Alberta messaged me. But then when I went, she said, oh, do you know why like they're blocked in Toronto and Vancouver? And I went, no, I haven't heard a thing. So when I went and looked in on it, it was all over the world. And they blamed some of it on snowstorms in the States. So they blamed whatever was going on in Chicago and the East Coast on snowstorms. But then we all know that can be manipulated, like that the storms could have been manipulated as an excuse. But then in other places, like in Canada, it was tech issues. Same thing happened in Australia, tech issues, and it was all the same time frame.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like they're trying different ways. Like if we need to ground a bunch of people, what can we use? That's not going to be like a tech company or something like that. So, and they said it was an update. They said they ran an update and all of a sudden air traffic control wasn't working.
Wow.
Kind of important to maybe test that before you let it go live, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Really. Right. That's a good point.
Where do you want to start? Do you want me to look at the Iran Stargate, or where did you want to start?
Yeah. Let's look at that. Yeah, for sure.
So I just want to know and you can, if there's another question or if anyone else in the audience has a question, let's just ask it to this point of, is that really happening? Or is it actually a galactic battle that's going on? And that's just the cover story. Because that's what gets everyone upset, right? Things being bombed, people being hurt. Absolutely. So we have King of Pentacles. 7 of Cups. We have 2 of Wands. Bottom of the deck is 5 of Wands. So that is connected to connected in the background galactic battle. Okay. So that's what they're showing us. This is a 7 of Cups. This is smoke and mirrors. Yeah. So it is like the perpetual story is to keep everybody busy and to be upset, to think that, you know, how dare everybody go and do this? It's starting WW3, all of that, but it's smoke and mirrors, everyone. It's not necessarily happening in that way. King of Pentacles. I want to do a clarification about that because that is, yeah, it's definitely about, this is Temperance. So it's definitely whatever's happening in the background. It's about bringing balance back to the area and bringing the power back to the people, power back to us. So, and King of Pentacles, there's something connected to that Stargate that's connected to our financial story moving forward. So
Yeah, I kind of agree with you as I was about the smoke and mirrors thing, because they were trying to say, I've been following this war. Like, I mean, I guess I'm like really
you're like a little, well, you're like a historian, and you also have like Middle Eastern.
Yeah, I'm Lebanese. I'm not Muslim though. I was raised Christian.
No, but I'm just trying to.
You
I'm
know.
just like in your lineage. Your lineage is from that side of the world, right? And not all of those countries were Muslim to begin with. A lot of them have been flipped over for a reason, right? So,
yeah, but what I wanted to say was they're making the United States look really bad. They're saying that we bombed a girls' school and like that 112-year-old girls died. And then they're also saying that we bombed a desalinization plant, because I guess over in that part of the world, they actually all get reverse osmosis water. And I'm like, wait, that's pretty amazing. Because what they do is they take the water from the ocean and then they desalinize it. This is like the you know, the Gulf countries like Kuwait and all that stuff, like the GCC. And then also Iran, they do it too. So they're saying the United States actually bought, and these would actually be considered war crimes. So, but I think these mind games get played when you're in war. You know what I mean? Because they want to they want the world. Iran probably wants the world opinion on them, like feel bad for them because what's happening. But I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think it's like?
I think we should look at that. I think we should look at both of those two incidents and see if they actually happened.
Yeah.
Or if that's just like the propaganda. You're right, like the propaganda of the war machine. Okay, just to clear it up. So this is like, it's all part of the battle. You're right. It's not just, and we learned about this in school. It's not just what we're being shown or what we're being told. It's propaganda. That's the biggest piece of the whole machine. And if I remember even my mom and my dad telling me they used to go to the movie theater and they would have all the propaganda shown to them. Before the movie, there were no, like, they didn't have previews of other movies coming up. They actually, that's how everyone got their news, when they went to the movies, right? So we have Two of Wands. So it's being whatever's going on there is being monitored from off world.
Wow.
Okay. So let's look at whether or not, the girls' school, I know that hit everybody really hard, the news about that. Let's look at that, if that even actually happened, or if that's just he said, she said kind of thing. Did your country do that? Two of Cups. That kept coming in yesterday as well. Queen of Cups. Yeah, so that whole story hit everyone's heart. Like, it really upset so many people. I think even people that are very staunch supporters of your country and Mr. T really got hit in the heart around that story. The Fool. So I don't think it happened. Yeah, I don't think it happened. Let me just do some clarification cards. The Two of Cups is more like having that information just sent out. So it got sent out, right? To see how everybody would react. It was intended to hurt everyone's heart, Queen of Cups. And then we have the Fool. We have a zero reset or being fooled, right? Being like smokes and mirrors again. So
do you think there's propaganda on all sides of this, and that's how they do this?
Yes. Yeah, and maybe they didn't teach that when you all went to school. So maybe I got like the truth serum, version before they changed it, right? Before they got in and started really manipulating the school system. So we actually studied all of the wars up until then, and they actually we had a big section about propaganda, about how they used it and how it was psychologically used to impact the people in every country, to make everybody in fear, which now we know is looshing, right?
Yeah, and one of the biggest examples of this is what they did with 9/11 and the Afghanistan war and the Iraq war. You know what I mean? That was like the absolute biggest propaganda ever,
Look at how 9/11, how it impacted us for years.
Yeah.
Right? Traumatized everybody for years, right? Okay, now we have the sun, and there's a young, this is actually one of the most positive cards on the decks. We have the Sun. That whole story is going to reset everything going forward. So that, because I've even seen stories like, oh, behind the scenes, your government in secret meetings said that actually happened. Well, we don't even know if that story was right. Like that also could have been planted because they know we're all on social media.
Yeah.
Right. So, but this is like an absolute reset. It's like a new beginning from that whole scenario. And this is one of the best cards in the deck. So it's actually going to change everything moving forward, regardless of who was responsible for it. But I'm getting a headache about it. So it wasn't your country.
Wow.
It wasn't your country. It was the other team.
You think it was the Israelis, or do you think it was the Iranians themselves?
Well, we would have to look at all of them because I feel like all of the players have different energies behind them.
Yeah.
So I feel like they've got the dark ETs behind them.
Yeah.
Pushing it, right? So I'm looking at it from that perspective. It's been all about money. Queen of Pentacles. All of these are about money. And again, we all question, why can't we take that? Just like what we talked about the tech. Why can't we take that money and help everybody in our own country?
Yeah.
Right. And like, what are we even doing over there anyway? Period.
Exactly. That's what
right?
that's what I was saying to someone the other day. I was like, I'm about America first. You know what I mean? Yes. I care about America and like what happens to the people over here. We don't need to be over there. But like, I see like Trump saying we absolutely do. And I'm like, but why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, I don't know.
Even we have to really realize too, that even a lot of things that he says are part of this whole chess game.
Yeah.
And there will be like intel with it, but we're kind of, as best we can, try and step back and realize like, okay, honestly, we really don't know what everybody's doing over there. The only way we would actually know is if like we had something like in the old days where we had on ground reporters, and they don't do that anymore. Or if we had people that were in the military that would like sneak out information to us, which is what they did in World War I and World War II. They literally would sneak out information. Morse code and all of that, right? Now, what's interesting about this with this Sun card, I just heard that the big, that even about the girls' school, that was intel about the whole thing with the children and the trafficking. So in Iran, there is a big hub for trafficking. And I feel because of the Stargate, it's multi-dimensional, taking people on off the planet.
Wow.
So it's huge. And at the bottom of the deck is King of Swords. So it is that's why it's heated up there right now. That's what's just coming through is that it's not what we're being told. There is a big hub of trafficking, but it's on off planet trafficking.
You know what's interesting about that is when I had this Iranian American on, her name was Shadeh, and she was talking about that there's like these deep underground military bases in Iran, and there's like she thinks that there might be cloning facilities and stuff like that. Like she didn't get into it much. She was talking more about like the surface level stuff, but she did get into that for a second. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I wonder what's going on.
I just got my gob bumps, Rob, so that's absolutely on target.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's all connected. Like who was it? I saw somebody recently, and I hardly ever get a chance to watch a whole show. I just get I'm so glad for those little clips because I just got little clips. But that's why I wanted to look at cloning today. There was a plan to just create a whole human race of clones.
Holy shit.
And remove us all.
Wow.
So that's really I think we need to look at that on Iran. Like, is there a big cloning facility there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does it tie into the Epstein stuff? I wonder, is he still alive? I'd love to know, and is he somewhere in Israel? Or, I mean, there's been photos of him that surfaced in Israel, Lebanon, all kinds of stuff,
Yeah. Okay. So we have Hanged Man. We have 9 of Cups. And we have the 5 of Cups. So, and we have the Queen of Pentacles again. So yeah, huge money making industry and plan, the cloning there as well. Yes. So the Hangman. So yes, that was potentially one of the main facilities that of course the locals know nothing about. We don't know anything about this. I'm really impressed that she brought that information to you. Like, that's
Yeah.
amazing to me that somehow she ended up with that information. So that's amazing. So thank that person. 9 of Cups. It was the wish and the intention of the Illuminati and the dark forces to do that. And Iran was a big potential for that. So doesn't that make sense why there's been battles going on there for so
Yeah.
long? What, 47 years or something? Right? And we don't even know what the kerfuffle was before that. And 5 of Cups. So it's coming to an end. That's really what it's all about. That's what the battle's all about, is to wind that all up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's important to know like how they. One thing I would like to see is I'd like to see them get their freedom, because like I don't like the way that women are treated over there. I think it's horrible.
I agree, and I think that's like Iran's not the only country. Afghanistan as well. Like a lot of countries just flipped the switch, just came in and said, "This is the way it's going to be, and none of you have any rights, and you can't." I remember they did a big documentary and deep dive when in Afghanistan when that happened. And I think it was 60 Minutes. I think it was Diane Sawyer that went in and actually just talked to a lot of women privately behind closed doors about, a lot of them had been doctors and teachers, and they no longer could do that. Yeah, it was really sad. It's mind blowing to me. Yeah, it was mind blowing that was happening.
Yeah.
So,
in this day and age, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, you would think that people would be a little bit more, I don't know.
Well, we also didn't know. So we don't know even some of these leaders that have gone in and done that, who's been backing them. And we didn't, back then we didn't know about the dark ETs. We didn't know about the reptilians or any of that either. So, right. And what else did we want to look at? What else happened besides the girls' school? There was something else.
The desalinization plant.
Yes. Yeah. Was that attacked? Was that? Yes, because they have to do that. They have to do that in a lot of countries. There's a lot of countries where they reverse the salt water from the ocean so that they have drinking water.
What's interesting about this war? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You got.
I'll keep. No, it's okay. I'll keep pulling. Just keep talking.
What's really interesting, because I've been following this. I guess like everything plays out in this Strait of Hormuz. I guess it's like a real narrow passageway, but it's what controls the world's oil flow, and it's connected to all these countries, like the Eastern Asian countries, the GCC countries. Like everybody gets their oil, and everything goes through this Strait of Hormuz. So like everything is playing out there. It's really weird.
Yes.
I'd love to see take a deep dive of like what's going on there.
Yeah, and even the oil thing. We all know that we don't need oil. That's just what we're using.
Yeah.
So we have other potentials, right? Hydrogen, all sorts of things. We know that there's I'm hearing alien. We know that there's off-world tech.
Yeah, free energy.
Right?
Yeah.
We're not going to need to know. We're not going to need any of this. So why is this battle still going on connected to this old resource?
Exactly.
So, right. So it's interesting. The bottom of the deck is Temperance, and it is about water. So there's something to do with the water plant, because we do have the Tower card, which meant like something big happened there, right? And I feel like, okay, so what do we need a lot of water for? The AI technology and the cloning labs.
Yeah.
So we have the 7 of Swords, which is connected to something that was connected to something in the past, that situation. And then we also have the 7 of Pentacles. So I want to pull some clarity cards, because I feel like I want to just sort of ask, so clarity, is this around like the cloning labs or the AI technology? For all we know, there's a big AI, like the AI tech companies could all be there.
Yeah.
Working on stuff, right? We don't know. We just sort of seeing now what's going on here, like what's happening in the world, right? So yeah, so we have 6 of Wands. That would be yes to my question. And 3 of Wands, and this would be like an off-world card as well. So there were, interesting. Definitely something happened to that plant, but it's connected to the AI tech, the cloning, and the off-world.
Yeah.
So
we
that
know
would make
data centers, like the data centers, like that they're using, that like that they're controlled, that do this AI stuff. They use a lot of water, and they use a lot of resources.
So the story came out about the salination plant, but the background story is that plant was connected to the cloning labs and the AI tech. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So it's massive. And I just hope that someday we get some kind of like clarification pictures, documentation, and maybe that's another piece that's in the e-files that we don't know about, that hasn't been released yet. Like there's lots of pieces that are coming out right now. So yes, and I have heard that he is still with us.
You think he's still alive for sure?
We can look at it.
I think so. I think so. It's what resonates with me, you know. It
Yeah.
does. It really does. Like,
well, apparently Miss Maxwell, that was part of her deposition when she said that it was a duplicate in the jail, wasn't him.
wow.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, it easily, right? Smoke and mirrors. Put him on a jet, take him somewhere. No problem. This was all before we were paying attention to him, really. Like it was before the lockdowns, before all of it. So let's just ask if he's still around. And then we can ask about Israel next. King of Pentacles. So I would say that is a yes. And Nine of Wands, which would be the ending kind of his original story. Like the ending of, like, you know, they made it look like he had left, and end of his story. And then smoke and mirrors. So it's all just been an illusion. So let me just ask in particular, is he in Israel? Because he might not be there anymore. They may have moved him again.
You know, it's so funny. I mean, I have to laugh at stuff too. Like there's people on X and like, you know, like a lot, I guess you could say a lot of the youth is calling the Israel and the United States coalition, they're calling it the Epstein regime. And some guy put a thing out on Twitter that soldiers, when they train, they're saying for Epstein. Like I almost died at that. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, you know, I mean, it's just funny, you know, I'm sure it's not true. You know, it's like, it's just like,
well, there's so much, like, that's the thing. It's gotten everybody so upset and everyone's just saying so many different things. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll go, even about like Jim Carrey, I'll go and like just read comments about what people think. And people are all over the place. Like some people just don't want to accept that he might be gone, and others don't want to accept that we even have clones. And right. And so, or everyone's just saying, no, it's AI. Like that's the thing. Everybody is so confused right now because we really don't have a lot of factual information being given to us. But, you know, would we believe it even if they told us anyway?
Yeah.
So I asked in general if, you know, about him. So we have the Lovers card, which is politics. So it is all a political kind of story, which is theater. Okay. So the whole thing about, like, because the Nine of Wands can even be about him like leaving. So they wanted to wrap up his story in the US. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So we got two nines. Yeah, he's somewhere. I don't know if he's still there, but he's chilling out. And he's like, they're still using him as a resource for something. And my understanding is, because I haven't researched the files as much of all of you, but the whole operation was very much connected to Israel anyway, right?
Yeah. It was like he was tied into the CIA and Mossad, you know, it seemed like.
Yeah. So which nobody knew in 2019 when all of this went down. Nobody knew that. The Emperor, so that kind of refers to me, like to your country, your president, that energy. So it's part of the game. It's all part of the game. Yeah. Which we wouldn't have known about. If you think about it, that's 7 years ago. 7 years ago when he was arrested. I think he was arrested maybe 2 years before that, 2017. And we talked about this last show. The only reason I knew about it early was because of the royal family, because he had ties with the royal family.
You know what's so crazy about the whole Epstein thing? And I guess when people don't say his name online, but I mean, at this point, I'm like, you know, like the files are out, but like what's so crazy is like somehow they were able to amass 3 million files, and then that's a lot of files, and then they're saying that's not even the whole amount, that there's more. I'm like, wait a minute, so you mean to tell me you guys, I'm talking about the government or whoever, has had files on this guy for years, but you can't touch him, and you know he's doing all this fucking crazy debaucherous shit? Like, I mean, it gets really sick. You know what I mean? Like, we know what I mean. Everybody's hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like,
because it was all tied into all your 3-letter operations.
Yeah.
And then that goes not even just for your country, then it's global. And then, right, like, and then if everyone that's in the files gets dealt with, which we feel like most of them have been dealt with anyway already, but when that happens, who's going to be left?
Yeah.
Are there going to be any government standing? Or is everything going to be completely over, like Hollywood? Everything, is it all going to be gone? So, I feel like there's this other plan. Like it has to come out in pieces, so everything can kind of like be absorbed. The regular collective can kind of like take in the information, and we haven't even gotten to the like reptilian part yet. I know some people are on board with it, but it's like, oh, okay. So that means we're not alone. So what's NASA been talking about for years, right? And then we have the
Exactly.
whole 3-letter agencies which have been part of spy movies for years. The
Yeah,
whole spy movie
absolutely.
thing, right? 50s, 60s, like it's been around forever, right? So we're understanding that even the movies were documentaries to prepare us for now.
Yeah.
And he's just, my understanding is he's just one of them, that there's others out there, that he was just one that got selected. And I'm not exactly sure why he got arrested, but to me, just what we pulled, it looks like it was to end that story. And look at
Yeah.
how long it's taken even for some of the files to come out. And I agree. I feel like the other pieces that are going to come out in the files are going to be shocking even to some of us
Yeah.
about things that have happened. It's going to be pretty upsetting for a lot of us.
They
I
should have
thought,
never let
go ahead.
they should never let all those files amass like that. They should have handled him a long time ago. You know what I mean? Because he was doing ungodly things. It was like really like,
Yeah, but
I mean,
he was being backed to do it. He wasn't just doing it, right? He was being payrolled. That's that King of Pentacles. So he was being payrolled to be that. And my understanding is there's more than him.
yeah, I would say there's a lot more Epsteins around the world,
Yes.
because we know the child trafficking and human trafficking of women, and it goes so deep to off world. You know what I mean? We
Yep.
have to think that there's a whole galactic slave trade going on, and that
Yes.
ties into the reptilians, and it's
Yeah.
like,
So that would be what we were just talking about. That would be the galactic slave trade, would be what's going on in Iran. That's what the battle's about.
wow,
They've been using that. So that makes sense. That makes sense if we look at all the countries that everything got flipped from being fairly open to being suddenly like shut down communication wise, and let's not be on the same level as the rest of the world, and let's hide everything and be secretive. So that makes sense that that's what they were really hiding.
yeah,
Right.
wow.
Yeah. 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 So where to next?
Well, we were going to talk about clones, and we were going to talk about moon bases too. It's kind
Yeah.
of like we kind of covered a lot of current events, but like I'd love to get into some more of some of the weird stuff, like like that, like
Yeah.
the clone stuff and the moon base, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's look at that because I feel it's all connected. So why don't we just look at, yeah. So I feel like one of the stories that I wanted to bring to the table today was that story of there were these clone bases underground all over the world. And their big plan was to create a whole human race and just
holy
dispose of
shit,
us.
wow,
So, right, we don't need the humans anymore, right? So I just wanted to ask if that was still, and I'm getting a headache. So I want to just personally ask, and then you can think if you have another question. Is that still game plan still in progress?
yeah,
So that means they weren't just technically trying clones. They've been doing it for years, and they were literally coming up with a way of getting rid of us. And that makes sense with those movies, the Stepford Wives. They've been talking about clones for years, all the cloning information that's in the Epstein files. So yeah, it's not just fake or some person making it up now. Maybe that's what Frankenstein was based on.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that. That's cool. Yeah, Frankenstein was the first clone, I guess. And remember they cloned Dolly the sheep. Remember that? That
Yeah,
was like
yes.
that
Wasn't
was like
that
something.
shocking?
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Okay.
like, yeah, and they can do amazing stuff with just like regular stem cells too. You know what I mean? Like stem cells can be like, they can do like I don't think they're telling the truth about all that. I really
Yeah, well, I
don't.
want to talk about that next because already when I looked at some of the robotics when I was doing research last night, they're making some of the robots look so human, and also that they have skin that's human.
Oh God, that's scary. That
It
that
is,
is.
and it's happening so fast. It's only March, right? It's only March, so that's how we have to know that. Okay, they're not just didn't just come out of nowhere. They've all been working in their labs in the background. Okay, so we have King of Cups. So that is, that was this individual is sneaky. So that was their sneaky little plan, right? Because guess why? Because the beings that are doing this are not human. So they want the planet, they want control. They don't want us to be here because we're very magical, even though we're just still remembering about it. We have the Two of Wands again as well. So yeah, off-world plan, off-world agenda. Now Temperance as well. This is about the power coming back to us, which would be also the information. Right. So maybe that is also the agenda of all the cloning information coming out right now, is understanding how long it's been around and what they all really were planning. Right. So let me just ask in general. Queen of Pentacles, she keeps popping up. And the Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, they've been working at it a long time. At least this plan was in place for at least 7 years. And yeah, where's all the money coming from? Like it's already looking like it's going to be $1 billion industry. If people think they can be cloned, or they don't have, that was that show that I was talking to you about last time. Did I talk to you about that? About Upload? Or maybe I didn't talk to you about that.
I'm not sure if you told us.
Okay, so I'll talk to you about. I haven't gone back to watching it again, but they've been playing with this for a long time because they could see potentially that it was going to be a big money making industry for people who didn't want to pass away. They could transfer their consciousness out into clones. Okay, so they've already been practicing that. Then we have the story of the celebrities, some of them not understanding what they were signing. Apparently there are some celebrities who were raised in these labs and then placed out in public. So there's all these different stories we don't have confirmation about yet, but a money-making industry. So if I didn't talk to you about Upload's a series on Amazon. I'm only in season 2. It got released in 2020. And it was basically you as a human could decide if you wanted to go out the natural way, or you could choose. In the hospital, this fellow chose Upload, and he uploaded his consciousness to a matrix. So he was still a human being, but it was in a matrix. He got to choose, like, do you want to go to the spa, or you know what I mean? Like, he got to choose based on finances where he wanted to go, and it was a big money making industry. And in season 2, they also showed that they sort of brought forward like a free version for the regular people, and it turned out they weren't uploading them anywhere; they were getting rid of them.
Wow.
So I was like, this is like a documentary. And what happened with him was, it turned out he was a tech guy. Turned out he was trying to use some of his tech for good. And so they got rid of him. And in this time frame, a lot of people were in driverless cars. So he was in a driverless car, like a driverless Uber, and it got hacked into, and he got taken out that way. Yeah. So I'm like, that's a documentary. That's showing us right now. And it was all about robotics and clones and AI. And some of it's really funny. Like, it's a kind of a murder mystery, but some of it's very funny because they have the same AI guy at this resort doing all, like, same guy's the concierge, and he's also the waiter who comes into the room. Like, it's the same. He's all over the place. It's the same guy. And that's what they're not the character I was talking to you about. So they're showing us like all of this technology of, like, you're not really going to know who's real and who's not real. Or if the only way you're going to know if you're in an environment like what we're in right now, like they say we're in a simulation right now. So what do you think about that, Rob?
I feel like we are. I feel like this is one big holographic reality, like, and I feel like we can change things here too. I feel like enough people, like, if enough people focus on not wanting war, and but what they do is they know how to run the simulation. They program you with fear, so you're constantly thinking about the war, and then they control the game. It's like you have to take back control of the game, and you have to start trying to manifest a better reality. And that's how I think we can control this holographic matrix. But I think sometimes you have to do it in groups, like change group consciousness, so you have all that energy.
That's how we're gonna do it. So we're not to buy into the stories where they want to loose off our fear and anger.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I wanted to bring to us today, is like, don't buy into all the media, even about what's happening in the Middle East, because honestly, really, we're just getting to the tip of the iceberg about what we really even know. Is our planet round or flat? Are we in a dome? Are there other civilizations around us? Right? Like, there's so much that needs to come forward about our galactic history as well. So yeah, anyway, it looks like clones are big. They've been around for a long time, and there was a plan, along with anything else, to just replace us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that goes back to, for those of you who have like come up against reptilian energy or dark ET energy or demonic energy, your whole body is going to have a reaction to that. And I've had that. So that's what we're to pay attention to right now. We're to pay attention to, can you tell if that video is real? And maybe just remind yourself it may not be real. It also might be just a simulation that they've just sent out to all the medias. And we have to be smart enough to know that even platforms like X are being manipulated now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we
Absolutely.
can't even say like 7 years ago it would be like a truther platform, but now they're like, they know we're all on it.
Yeah.
So they can drop information anytime they want just to get everybody upset and distracted. And yeah.
Exactly. I agree. I agree.
Did you want to look at the moon next, or was there something else?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. This is good. This was a good show, I think, so far. You know, I think a lot of people.
I just wanted to make sure we had wrapped up about the clones. So apparently I'm going to look at Jim Carrey in a little bit of a different way later today. I'm going to put out in Rumble. I want to look at his Starseed Origins, and then I want to channel in from him and see what he wants to share. I forgot he was from Canada. So I think like he's been coming to me. He wants to talk. So someone asked me recently, "Oh, has he passed away?" And I went, "Well, that's a good question." That's what I'm gonna ask him, because
I know
there's all these smoke and mirrors. Like, I think part of me just assumed he was already gone. But then another part is like, well, the other story, it could be like Isaac Cappy. Maybe he's gone. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's like behind the scenes. Maybe our version of what we think reality is here, if he has transitioned, he's just on the other team helping us, just like other people who have gone away, right? So
I know. I watched it. We covered this kind of like when I did a show with Matthew Morning, and we showed the video of him talking on X at this like awards, and he just looked so weird. I mean, the way he was talking, he looked like someone who had just came into a body and didn't know how to act in it. That's the best way I can put it. You know?
Have you all not seen some of the silicone masks? I've been reposting it on Instagram. Someone puts a silicone mask on it, you can't tell. Looks exactly like the person.
Wow.
So, and then they've been showing clips of him talking, like, this is years ago now, right? Because he would have been talking about this stuff like 2013, 14, 15 on red carpets or on talk shows or whatever. So he was on one talk show, he was on a red carpet, and he actually said, "Oh, he's not playing his role anymore. I'm no longer playing Jim Carrey. That's not who I'm playing anymore." And everyone just thought he was joking. And then he was on a talk show, and he said, "Oh yeah, I have doubles. I have doubles that go out and do stuff for me and do PR for me, because I don't want to do all that anymore."
Whoa.
Right. So he left us like little breadcrumbs. And if you think of the movies that he was in, right, he thoughtfully did like The Mask and The Truman Show, and he did all of these like shows. So the thing is that he kind of vanished. He hasn't really been around for a while, and that's why everyone's questioning it. So I guess I wanted to ask his consciousness, wherever he is, what he wants to bring in for us. But what he showed with me when I looked at it a little bit last week was, we're just what I was already sharing. We have to really start paying attention to what's real and what's not real. So even he was sharing, like, even he being an actor and being in Hollywood playing all these movies, that was a role, and that he also felt like Jim Carrey was a role as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So,
wow.
So the question is, like, is he gone? Was he taken out, or is he behind the scenes? Like, is he all part of like the unfolding? And maybe, the fact that so many people felt like he didn't look real was amazing to me.
Yeah.
So many of the collective were like, that's not Jim Carrey. Like, that to me is like, wow, what a testament to how many people are awake right now.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. I was going to say, if a lot of people can see that, then that means we're transitioning to a higher form of evolution in the way we're perceiving things. And I think that's amazing.
It is, like, instead of saying, oh no, there's not people out there wearing masks, now we're like, wow, no, that looks like a mask. Or is it a robot with a mask? Or is it, you know what I mean? So it definitely was more of a human. So that's the other thing. We have to think about all these doubles. Like, I think even when we talk about clones, it could be a clone, like an actual, like, taking someone's DNA and creating another version, which is humanoid. Then we have a robot that they can put silicone masks on that look identical as well. Have you guys all seen how some of the robots are, like, they're moving pretty physically now? Like, they can dance and run and do karate and everything. So that's been like, they're just showing that information in the last couple months.
Wow.
So, right. And then we have the, or is it someone else just wearing a mask? Is it just a double that they've hired? to be all these people. And if you guys go back in history, there have been famous people and also politicians who always had doubles, stand-ins. President Ronald Reagan had stand-ins. Same with, like, we know they talked openly about it with President Trump, right? And then we have I know, like, Madonna was on record talking about she had doubles that would go out and do PR for her, or go out and, like, have people, the paparazzi would follow her double and she would go do something else.
Yeah. It's interesting because he was so spiritually aware too. Like I saw this video of him and he was talking about, a lot of like spiritual thing, like a lot of like not new agey, but like just like very like, like it seemed like he was really tapped in. And then we know he did shows like the movies like The Truman Show, which people in our community still reference to this day. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, what did he know? And was he offered something? Was he offered like, that he could get clones, or he could, you know what I mean? Like, was he offered to be taken off planet? I don't know. And now the version of him is here, it's like, it's weird.
It is, exactly. So that's the thing. There's so many different options. So I can't even come out with it like one clear concept anymore, because there are so many different options. And I can't speak for him. I don't know him. But let's say like 2 years ago, I would have just assumed he was gone. Like, I felt like a lot of them were handled in one way or another. Like, they either went to work with the good team, but they went undercover. Because if you think about it, everyone, we were locked down for 2 years. So there was no movies being made. There were no appearances. There were people that were doing like Zoom call meetings with masks on. How did we even know that they were even the right people? Like, they had 2 years to kind of come up with scenarios for a lot of well-known people. And like that, I find it super interesting. Even like people are finding these clips of him saying things years ago, like dropping these little nuggets for us right now, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Anyway, I hope that he's still with us, but we don't, Is it going to be like the Wizard of Oz, where the curtain's going to be pulled away and we're going to actually like, oh yeah, here we go, everybody. This was the real movie. Okay. So why don't we look, unless you have something else, or somebody else has a question in the audience online, why don't we look at the moon? So yes. So I feel like it's like what we already brought in, that the moon itself has been used as like a transport station for a lot of on-off planet movement. So that would be like transporting people from the stargates to the moon and back again, right? Like, not only just the recycling plan, but also, vast amounts of people that kind of disappear would go that way as well. So I just wanted to take a look to see if that's still being done. And then you can think about what you would like to ask, Rob. Okay. Or maybe somebody in the comments has a question. Okay. So 4 of Swords came in, like where we're coming from with that. That was interesting. One of the cards came in with the moon. So yes, it was, there was a lot of stories and information coming in about that, as you know, with being a podcaster for years. So nobody was really too sure, but it is coming to an end. So it hasn't quite completed yet, everyone. That's where we're at right now, 9 of Wands. It's still being used. I find that fascinating. So there must be like different alternate dimensions where people come and go on the moon, because I find it interesting that all teams are still using the moon. The other piece of information I wanted to share with you all is they're upgrading the moon. They're still upgrading the moon. They're working on it, and I guess dissolving the contracts. So the contracts are coming into effect, because I'm like wondering too, okay, well, if the battle's going on and we want Earth back, why can't we just kick them out of the moon? Why are the Dark ETs still using the moon? Because they've got some kind of agreement that's coming to an end. Because they've been given notice. And then we have 8 of Cups with the moon up there in the background. So eventually the Dark ETs and the beings that have been using the moon will leave it and walk away. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, this is an amazing. This was a great show.
Did you have any?
Let's see. This is Ruth Lanson. She said, I just see what people are saying here. She says the moon is moving north south instead of east and west for the last couple nights. What's with that? She wonders.
Oh, thank you, Ruth. That actually brings up a good point. As well, is that, did you know that there are 2 moons right now?
I've heard about that. Yeah, that's
And believe it or not, NASA actually announced that like last October. They said, oh, by the way, we're going to have 2 moons. You're going to see another moon by our moon. And nobody really questioned it. And the fact that they brought that information forward, I'm like, well, what's with that? Like, why? So I was thinking, I wonder if they can't upgrade the moon, if they're going to be replacing the moon. And that's what this other moon's about, right? Because you all know the moon's not organic, right? You can go back if our history is correct, you can go back into other histories, other groups on the planet that actually documented when there was no moon. So yeah, let's just even ask about why the moon is being, to me personally, I don't think the moon really moves. I think they tow it.
Yeah.
And that they're not really getting the whole like leaving. And maybe it's being so obvious. Maybe they want it to be so obvious. Okay, the moon's not even moving properly anymore. Are you all paying attention? We have the world. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Wands. I want to do some clarity cards as well. We have the 7 of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. That's interesting. Okay, so the world, I mean, this to me is prime source. So it is a source plan right now to resolve the moon. I may not be exactly answering what Ruth suggested, but it's like a source plan with the moon right now in general. And so Knight of Pentacles, this is about like the energy being steady as you go. So it's like, I guess the decision was made to keep the moon for now because it's been here for so long and everyone expects it. And, if they just like shut the moon off, freak everybody out. So it's just steady as you go. That's the whole story. But the whole function of the moon and the whole way the moon is coming to an end. We're going to have more information about it. Ace of Pentacles. So we're going to have like a lot more intel that's actually going to come out. Like basically everything we're talking about, they're going to say, yeah, we've already been there. Yeah, there's a station there. Yeah, there were dark ET bases there. Like we're going to get that. But right now, like the 7 of Swords is it's been here for as long as we know. It's something from the past. So they've decided to just keep it. So I kind of wanted to, if you can think of something else, but I was going to ask if that second moon is supposed to be like replacing our moon. Is that why it's there? Or are they just going to shut the moon? Like they could do that, right? Literally, we wouldn't know. There'll be a period when the moon's not in the sky, so they could shut it off and tow it somewhere else and install the new moon. So let's ask about the second moon. 7 of Cups. You see it, and then you don't see it. So I think even Ruth, the fact that you even noticed that is like amazing. Because I've had stories, I've had clients message me that they follow the moon, on the star apps, and they're like, how come the moon's in a different part of the sky? We have Temperance. And we have the 10 of Cups. So whatever's going on is actually for the benefit of humanity. But yeah, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of different timelines, a lot of different realities right now. So well done, Ruth, that you noticed that. It's intentional that they're moving the moon around so people will notice, especially those of you who are avid watching the stars and the planets in the sky. It's part of the balance, the intel, the real information to come back to humanity. Like more people are going to be questioning, researching the moon, wondering why the moon is this, that, and the other thing. And then 10 of Cups. So in the near future, we'll have the information. We'll have all the right information. I'm excited about that because I think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time for us to know more about the moon.
Yeah. It's an amazing show. We went about an hour and 20 minutes, but it went really good. I thought it was awesome. Like, I thought this was an awesome show, like this was, we got a lot of good information out today, I think, Yeah,
I think so too. That was great. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And do you want to tell everybody where they can follow you and stuff like that? And this was seriously, this was a great show,
Yeah, sorry, I was reading someone's comment about the moon. Yeah, so everyone, if you wanted to work with me, have your own Galactic Akashic deep dive, clarity, and all Starseed Origins, etc. That's all on my website, alohapinkbella.weebly.com. Thank you for following me in YouTube and Rumbles, where I'm going to be doing the Jim Carrey Starseed Origins. I've already done like Elvis this year, Michael Jackson, and In the past, I've done Liam Payne and Matthew Perry, so that's kind of something I'm rolling out every couple of weeks. And the big thing right now is I'm offering sacred property, home, and business clearings that are distant. So that's really, really huge. I've had really good results with the people I've been helping because I'm literally assisting everyone from clearing out the matrix codes in your home.
Yeah.
And your space, because that seems to be a big, and I got a big block from the other team about that. So I know it's important. So I've had to do it for myself and some other clients because literally we're trying to be sovereign, but our home and our space may still be attached to the matrix. So that's what I'm working on right now.
But I mean, what time are you doing your thing about Jim Carrey? You think like
It's not going to be live, but I'm going to release it on Rumble today.
okay, because like I got one more show today. She just verified now. I got Carrie Cassidy at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Oh wow.
It was
That'll be
supposed to be at 5:30. She didn't verify till late. I guess she was moving and stuff. So I'm like, I gotta hurry up and make the link. And I was like, damn.
Go ahead. Yeah, go do it. No, for sure.
Like, no, but like I wish she would have verified earlier. That way I would have known, you know what I mean? But like it's all good, you know what I mean? But I didn't want to cut our show short either, because this was a really good show. I mean, we got a lot of really good information out, you know.
We got another one in 2 weeks. It's all good. But yeah, everyone, I haven't been doing lives on Rumble for a while because I don't know. I've just been recording, but I want to like read his information properly. So yeah, you guys check out my Rumble link, and that's where I'm posting, and I'll post our show today in a couple of days as well. So
yeah,
thanks so much, Rob. Thanks everybody.
All right, thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys in a little bit, and thank you so much, Pink Bella. This was awesome. And
take care, everyone. Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
thanks, guys. Have a good night.